Right now on the MMA Outsider Podcast, we are joined by Chico Camus, one of the up-and-comers at the Rufus camp up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's fresh off of a victory at UFC 150 over Dustin Peg. First off, Chico, well, let's get right into it. I mean, how does it feel to have a UFC victory in your debut for the organization?
Oh, man, it feels great, man. I would never imagine even first off being in this position, but all in all, man, it feels great, man. It still, for some reason, hasn't really totally hit me yet, but yeah, it feels incredible, bro. Nothing better.
Yeah, and, you talk about it hitting you later. I mean, I've heard that from some guys. It doesn't sink in sometimes till later, but as far as, going in there and getting into the cage and just kind of the week leading up to it, I know it can be pretty nerve-wracking for some guys. So in the build-up to it all, how did you feel? Did you feel nervous, or did you feel pretty calm going into it?
I was somewhat of a nervous wreck, man. The week was all good, though. I got there Tuesday. I believe I was only at 140, so I only had 4 pounds to drop. So the weight cut was really easy. The easiest weight cut I've actually had ever in my career so far. I think the day of, I only had a pound to lose. So as far as like feeling great, I felt great. The weight cut was perfect, and it was just nerves. I've talked to Anthony and Eric and the guys who had UFC experience, and they just told me, treat it like another fight, and I came in to thinking the same thing, but the nerves of, just walking out in the practice drills with Sergio and them in the beginning, like just looking out in the crowd and knowing that I was going to be fighting in front of so many people, and, just the nerves kind of got to me, but once we got in there and we started exchanging strikes, and everything felt normal, man, and my game plan just worked, and everything just started clicking.
Yeah, and I know particularly in the first round, he had you in a position where he was trying to get a triangle locked on, and you were able to fight your way out of it. But when he first got you in that position, how did you feel? And how would you assess your overall ground game, given that he tried to throw a couple submissions at you, but you were able to fight through them?
Actually, a submission wasn't that close. Actually, I got a little trick that, I know a lot of people probably do it, but I like to stick the right hand in there. So I had my right hand somewhat in there, just maybe a half of my hand, a little bit more than half my hand. So I was breathing fine. My thing was just worried about not getting cut open by him throwing the elbow. So I just kept trying to stay tight and just sitting there waiting for his legs to loosen up so I could loosen up the choke and start dropping punches and elbows and stuff. So the choke at all wasn't that tight, and I felt pretty good at my ground game. For some reason, I'm a striker. I didn't totally feel 100%. I kind of felt flat in there. So the ground game was always there. I told Duke and my coach Kush earlier in the week that I felt a lot comfortable with my ground game for this camp. So got to display my ground game and my ground and pound a little bit. So overall, I was pretty happy with my performance, but I know I can do better.
Yeah. Talk about that. You mentioned, some days, you're on point and you feel like everything's going well, and I know some days, just like with anyone, whatever profession, things don't always feel, I don't know, it's just hard to explain. It just doesn't feel like everything's going the way you want to, and, you mentioned deciding to go to your ground game, and as an interesting choice, talk about, I guess that's probably a pretty good idea, because if you're on the feet and you're feeling kind of tentative, you can, you might get knocked out, you might get, hurt, and with the ground game, I guess at least you're pushing the pace and you're dictating where the fight's going.
Yeah, I not once during the fight did I feel nervous at all standing up either. It was just felt a little flat, and just what my punches weren't coming off how I would like to come. I had some pretty good moments standing in the fight, but like I said, my ground game was on fire the whole training camp, so I somewhat wanted to display and my ground and pound and my jits defense and my jits if it ever came to that too. But overall, I felt good. I felt like I said, I had a really good camp, and the training and everything was good for the fight. So overall, good performance, very good performance.
Yeah, yeah, and also certainly you were probably most impressive in the third round, where at one point he did have your back, but you managed to turn around, get in his guard, and then you passed and really finished the fight strong, landing a lot of ground and pound shots, and almost getting a choke of your own. And this probably goes back to what you did in the first round, just as far as keeping calm and using your technique. But when you have a guy on your back looking for a submission, I guess what's your mindset as far as just staying calm and not getting too nervous, and eventually being able to work out of it.
I was just thinking to get him off my back at that point, honestly. But yeah, as far as the technique of the drill, just keeping my chin down, staying focused, and I was waiting for him to just open him legs up a little bit. I mean, I'm not sure. I think he had my back for about a good minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe even a little longer. But I was just waiting for him to loosen up them legs. So I do it all the time in practice. Guys have my back, and I get that little spin off. So. I was just waiting for him to loosen up a little bit, and just milking him out, making him relax his body, so I could explode and reverse the move. But yeah, just staying calm, staying focused, and working how we work in the gym, man. Just staying focused.
Right, and of course, everyone would like to get the quick submission or knockout. I mean, it's flashy, it gets the fans going. But at the same time, I mean, now that you had your UFC debut, you win 3 rounds against a tough guy. Do you think there's maybe at least some benefit to having to go the distance now, and knowing that your cardio held up fine, and it maybe gives you a little bit more octagon experience than if you'd gone in there and gotten a really quick finish?
Oh yeah, because I think I learned a lot more too. I landed some pretty decent shots, didn't rock them, so I had to stay on the game plan, stay focused, and keep working at everything I had to work at. I'm honestly really happy that obviously I would love the bonus and love the money and love the recognition for having a great submission or a great knockout or a great fight. But honestly, I don't want to fight it tonight if I'm the one that's getting beat up. So I'd rather take the knockout on the 7th night bonus, but. Yeah, overall, it felt good that I was in there. The one that a long, lanky guy as well, and a guy that's had, a lot more fights than me on a bigger stage, and fight a 3-round fight, and even being in some positions to where I had to show, a lot of heart and skill to get out of. So, help me out help me out in the future for next fight if I'm ever in trouble or in a dangerous position to just stay calm, and I've been here before.
Right. And lastly, as far as getting back in there, I don't know if you've talked to your coaches yet or anyone else, but I mean, do you have an idea? I assume you probably want to take a little bit of time off, but do you know when you want to get back in the cage or when you want to aim to fight again?
Yeah, I just want to fight. Maybe one more, for sure one more before the end of the year. I'm back in training. I was just back in training already this week, so we're always ready to go at Rufus Sport, man. I was healthy after the fight. Just looking forward to staying in the gym for right now and getting better. And when the opportunity arises, hopefully one by the end of the year, Chico Camus will be ready to fight, man.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I appreciate you doing the interview as usual. Is there anyone you'd like to thank, sponsors or whoever, before we wrap things up?
MMA Inc., Ryu for the nice gear they gave me out there, and Lexani, and all my people on the south side of Milwaukee, man. Everybody at Rufus Sport, my coaches, Duke Rufus, obviously, Omar, and my coach Kush. So, thanks for the love, man. Thanks for the love, everybody.
All right, great. Well, thanks again. Appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you back in the UFC soon, and congratulations on the win.